So next one was Jake Paul. He had a recent rant about milk causing cancer. So again, if you watch Game Changers on Netflix, there's a lot of dialogue in that from what I can recall about milk basically it just contains pus and like red blood, white blood cells and just like the nasty stuff that comes from a cow is what is in that. Adults, never mind it, like infants shouldn't have it. Adults should not have it. Yeah. And that's long and short of it. Like no spoilers, but like that's kind of it.
Yeah, no, I saw the Jake Paul video where he's talking with his look. I don't want to sit here and just bash Jake Paul for no, even though it's very tempting. He's talking to his brother and some guy, and they're talking about milk. And this guy that the Paul brothers are with is like, yeah, I love my glass of milk in the morning or milk and cookies at night. And they're like, bro, man, you still drinking milk? Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, man? It's so bad for you. And I'm like, what? And he goes on this rant, Jake Paul, about milk, saying that it causes cancer. Let me tell you right now, there is no scientific study which has proven any causation between the consumption of fucking cow milk and cancer, right? In fact, there's only one compelling study about milk which suggests that maybe, it's not conclusive, maybe it reduces your likelihood of getting colon cancer later in life, maybe. And that's the consumption of it, right? So if you drink milk, you might be at less risk. But Jake Paul sat there, with his gold watch on in his nice studio, whatever. He's like, don't drink milk, bro. And people will, I'm sure, believe it. There's nothing wrong with dairy milk. In fact, I don't mean dairy milk, the chocolate bar that Mike's eating right now. There's nothing wrong with it. In fact, it can be really useful to a lot of kids, like, especially like when I first started doing videos and maybe I was a bit larger and people don't look at me now and think, oh, he goes to the gym, right? Yeah. But maybe back in the day, they did a bit more. And they would be like, oh, I'm a skinny kid and I really can't eat enough. What's a good way for me to, how do I get calories into, get bigger if you want to do that? And a good way is like if you drink whole milk, because if you think about it, protein, carbohydrate, fats, it's easy to consume because it's a liquid. There's nothing, don't go mental and drink 4 gallons of milk a day, but there's nothing wrong with milk. In fact, it's really good for you. It's got calcium in. Like, I don't know where people get these ideas.
It's like you said, I think it's a case of, it's said so confidently from various influencers online or whatever, even like in the fitness industry. So you'll see a lot of people pushing various diets as well as exercise. You're right, mate. For those that are listening, he's just
coffee in my beard.
He's just spilled coffee all down himself.
McDonald's.
Yeah, it gets pushed quite heavily. But like you said, if you are looking to put on weight, so I remember my grandma was unfortunately dying of cancer. She had a lot of whole milk or cream on like Weetabix with a sprinkling of sugar because of the limited amounts that she would eat. You're trying to pack as much calories in there as possible. So obviously like, whole milk, cream, it packs a punch, a bit like peanut butter, calorie dense. Yeah. Bit of scran. But it does move on actually nicely to the carnivore diet. So I've seen a guy on TikTok, right? And he swears, like, he's very red. I think he's got high blood pressure.
Is this the guy that eats the raw? He eats raw, like eats liver and stuff?
Yeah, possibly the same guy.
And he's jacked.
Super jacked. So what he's missing, you'll see this a lot in the fitness industry. He may well be on a carnivore diet, but he may also be on some anabolic substances or growth hormones. I'm not going to...
Josh said that, not me. But I get the feeling what's getting him in that kind of shape is probably not eating raw meat.
Yeah, I mean, you look at... I'm going to say strongmen. You look at strongmen, so we look at like Eddie Hall, and when he was doing a 500 kilo lift, and you look at Hafthor Johnson... Both those dudes are rated...
Johnson?
What's his name?
Hafthor Bjornsson.
Whatever the fuck his name is. Johnson. Where did I get Johnson from?
Boris Johnson. It's Boris. Like an unholy Frankenstein of the two.
Hafthor Boris and Eddie Hall, they were considerably larger when lifting in competition than they are now as fighters. Again, and as an educated guess, I would say that they've come off some form of substances to help them gain such mass to be able to lift such... plates.
We might have to cut this part, man. We're getting into...
You don't have to confirm nor deny, but like...
Well, I think anyone with common sense knows...
Yeah, we need to like... But this is the problem, kids, right? Like I remember when I was younger, I'd be watching strongmen, I'd be watching... like you might watch a bit of Olympia, you might watch bodybuilders, and you go, fucking... Like, if all I have to do, they're pushing this supplement, X protein, anabolic X protein, you 3 scoops of that a day, and you're going to be as big as Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I think you've skipped ahead a little bit, but you're right.
Oh, sorry, was that...
No, it's all right. We're going to talk about it in the same conversation, but Yeah, no, you're right. In that a big part of where this whole problem comes that we have with weight management and everything, and the fitness industry is somebody trying to sell you a supplement while not telling you what chemicals they might be taking.
What extracurriculars may be in after the...
Yeah, but any of the names that we have thus far mentioned absolutely are natural, I'm sure.
Okay, yep. Anyway, allegedly, people say that, don't they, to get themselves off the hook. So Carnivore Diet went on, but Joe Rogan, for example, the god of podcasts, he does Carnivore January. So I don't know if you've seen him talk about that before on his podcast.
Is the Carnivore Diet, is that just where you eat, I guess you just eat meat?
Just eat meat. So only have, there's a lot of people that, he's got a lot of mates that do it year round. They'll only eat meats. They won't have sugars, carbohydrates. They'll just eat meat and I guess
that's
water and coffee.
That's just like a low carb thing, or like some evolution of the Atkins diet, which is what kind of brought this whole carbs are bad for you myth to the fore in the first place. But yeah, I mean, even that's just unhealthy on the opposite spectrum of, veganism, like, because then you're missing out all the, vegetables, fruit, all the other stuff that you need, which contains, vitamins, micronutrients, that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, moving on from this then, what you have put in the notes is why there's an obesity problem within the USA and the UK, and why people have difficulty losing weight or maintaining a healthy body weight. So what did you want to preach about that?
Yes, I suppose what we just talked about kind of comes nicely onto that point, right? Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't just mean exclusively in the UK and the USA. I'm sure there are other areas where it's a problem. But, yeah, I mean, obesity is the crisis of obesity is worse than it's ever been. And a huge contributing factor to that, or the two factors I think to me mostly are, first of all, people just don't understand how the human body works, right? Which is why I get questions asking me all the time how I can eat like I eat and not gain weight.
Yeah.
And I think that's that. I mean, it's how long is it? 20 years since I was at school, because I'm old. But as far as I'm aware,
a chalkboard then? Black and white.
I think we did still have some black and white boards. Yeah, we had mostly the whiteboards, but I think there were a few classrooms with actual blackboards in them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have like those desks that you open. We didn't use abacuses. Abaci? I don't want the plural of abacuses.
I've watched Flintstones. Did you carve it into like a bit of slate as well?
Some prehistoric rock. But yeah, when I was at school, there was no syllabus which taught basic like energy, how you manage energy in the human body and your like diet and exercise and stuff. And maybe you might have touched on it in those, what were those bullshit classes called, where you just kind of go to your group and you don't really learn anything, but you just kind of convene there at the beginning of the day. I don't know. It might be in the, I don't think it's in the curriculum now.
Right, okay.
And I've got like Lindsay's niece and nephew, both at primary school, right? And I've never heard them tell me about they were learning about nutrition at school. So that's one problem, because if they don't know, then when they have kids, those kids aren't going to know, and the cycle continues. The other problem is, as we've already briefly touched upon, the fitness industry, which has, remember, a vested interest for the most part. I'm not talking about personal trainers that are trying to help you. I'm talking about predominantly the supplement industry and people selling you diet plans with snazzy names like Super Shred, whatever. They have a vested interest in keeping you in the dark, right? Because if you know the truth about how you get in shape, they can't sell you some snazzy product or some supplement. Like, it's still legal for supplement companies to sell BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. They don't fucking do anything. You might as well go buy flour or something and start taking flour pills, because they literally don't do anything. They've been debunked.
I never knew
time
that.
after time, and you'll still hear gym rats down the gym saying, "Oh yeah, if you're on a cut, bro, you should be taking your BCAAs,
drinking BCAAs
in the
while
morning,
you're training, or like
before you go for your cardio. Otherwise, you're gonna be wasting away." But you're not gonna be wasting away, right? Because that's not how the human body works.